I've been looking at your writing and I am impressed by all your ideas. When we are finished with our writing, it is important to revise or go back and read to see how we can make it better. One way we can all make our writing better is to choose better words. This makes our stories more interesting. Today I'm going to teach you how to replace words we all use with sparkle words. To revise means to change things and make it better. So the best way to revise your work with sparkle words is to go back and read through your story to find words that can be replaced with different words. Yesterday I looked at Chris's story and he's going to let me read it to you guys, and we are going to see what words we can change to sparkle words. This is a story that Chris wrote yesterday. Last week we went to the zoo. It was fun. We saw lots of animals. It was hot. We got ice cream. It was good. This is a very interesting story that Chris told us with lots of details about his day at the zoo, but I think with sparkle words we can make it even more interesting. Let's read this story together. Last week we went to the zoo. What zoo did you go to, Chris? Okay, so we could change zoo to Indianapolis Zoo. Okay, so since we changed it to last week we went to the Indianapolis Zoo. This is an addition that makes the story sparkle, but we can also change words. The next sentence in Chris's story says, "It was fun." What could we say instead of fun? This is a spot where we could change a word to a sparkle word instead of adding a sparkle word. This is a tricky one. Does delightful work? It was delightful. Was it delightful at the zoo, Chris? Okay, so we could change it to, it was delightful. The next sentence says, we saw lots of animals. Chris could go into more detail about what animals he saw, but if he wants to keep the story short, he could think of a word that describes all of the animals and add a sparkle word before animals. So, were the animals fascinating, Chris? We could add that before animals so that it says, we saw lots of fascinating animals. That makes the sentence sparkle by adding a word. We'll look at one more sentence of Chris's story before you guys can go and practice this on your own. The next sentence says, it was hot. What word could we use instead of hot to make this sentence sparkle even more? Do you know what scorching means? Was it super hot? If it was super hot, then we could say it was scorching. Scorching is a sparkle word because it's more descriptive than hot. Now for the rest of Chris's story, turn to your writing buddy and find new places in his story that you can change words to sparkle words. You could either add a sparkle word to make it more descriptive or change a word to a sparkle word. We will talk about it in a few minutes and decide which words we want to choose. Okay, now that you've had time to look at the rest of Chris's story, what words did you and your buddies decide that we could change? You're right, we could change it was good to something else. There's lots of sparkle words we could choose to change good to. What do you think is the best one for this story? Okay, so as a class, we've decided to change it was good to it was amazing. Now let's read Chris's story since we've used sparkle words to make it even better. Last week we went to the Indianapolis Zoo. It was delightful. We saw lots of fascinating animals. It was scorching outside. We got ice cream. It was amazing. Can you see how using sparkle words makes the story even more exciting? What did you think of coming up with sparkle words? It can be difficult, but can you see how it makes your story sparkle? Your story was great before we revised it, Chris, but now it's amazing. It makes me interested in your trip to the zoo, and now I want to know even more. As we work with sparkle words even more, we will make a word wall with both common words and words we can use to replace that word. I've started the word wall with a few words that we can replace with sparkle words. So I have say this, brilliant, instead of smart. So instead of saying smart, you can use a sparkle word and say brilliant. What sparkle words could we put on our word wall from today? You're right, we changed good to amazing. So we can put say amazing instead of good. If you think of more sparkle words, let me know and we can add it to our word wall. Today we learned how to revise our writing with sparkle words. During writing workshop today, look at a piece of writing you have finished and read through it. Look for words that you could change to make your story even more exciting. I will be walking around, so if you need any help with sparkle words, please ask. That's what we're working on today, so make sure you're looking at old writing and not working on new writing. Later, when you get better at sparkle words, you can use them the first time around so you don't have to change them later. If you have red folders, you may go get your work now. Blue folders may go. Green folders may go. And yellow folders may go. Make sure you're working.